My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic. Today I'm reviewing Roja Enigma pour Homme. This is £225 for 100ml. The notes are bergamot, geranium, neroli, jasmine, heliotrope. Base notes are cardamom, ginger, pepper, patchouli, cognac, tobacco, sandalwood, benzoin, vanilla and ambergris. Do we have our fragrance samples? Are we engaged with the higher self? Let's get testing. So this is, I classify it as a boozy oriental. It is undoubtedly French, very classy, undoubtedly very highbrow. Oh, one thing I want to say is last year I reviewed one of his called Fetish, and I said I'm never going to do it again because somebody told me that he uses real castoreum and civet, which is disgusting and should never be used in perfumery. But I was wrong. So when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. So that's why I'm reviewing this one, because I was given incorrect information and I've subsequently researched it myself and found out that they, like myself, just use ambergris. The rest is raw materials. So many apologies for giving out the wrong information, but hopefully I've corrected that now. Anyway, this is really good classic French perfumery based upon Isu Super, Clean, Musk, Ethyl Brassowate, Hedione, Vanillin, Benzoin, and then lots of cinnamon notes, which I love. I love cinnamon notes very, very, very much, as you know. Cinnamon cinnamate, cinnamon acetate, absolutely, and this is packed full of acetates. Acetates are brilliant modern perfumery, and it is how to take something quite classic and update it is you're adding acetates, and there are so many different types of acetates. You just keep adding them on and on and on, and they can smell a little bit electric and very, very synthetic, which is not a bad thing. But when you combine them with traditional raw materials like benzoin, vanillas, sandalwood, they can help elevate and they can help to give an extension through a very, very heavy dominant fragrance. This is masses of sandalwood in this, so this is full of natural raw materials, and I would say this has been built similar to my ouds, which are 30% natural to 70% aroma chemicals. So this I like very much. There's some really lovely ambers flickering through this to give it a ambergris feel. Ambergris is quite a difficult one to detect because it can be quite salty and quite ambery, but it gives a feel of it, and I'm unsure. I'm not going to put my neck out and say yes it doesn't contain it or yes it does. I'm unsure. If it does contain it, it is at quite trace amounts. Given the benefit of the doubt though. This is so lovely. This contains notes that I love very, very much. Coumarin gives sweetness to vanillin, to benzoin, to cinnamon notes, to sandalwood. It is just gorgeousness, and this is what I love very, very much. This is what I consider excellent classic perfumery. There are some lovely white floral notes which give a clean feel, and you would not think of them as floral notes, you would think them as a clean, almost clean, that's the only way I can explain it, and they use quite a lot of them in fabric conditioner. So there's one called Magnolian, which is used massively. I smell that one all the time, and funny enough, I was in Tesco's the other day, somebody walked past me and my brain started screaming Magnolian tonicate, Magnolian tonicate. I thought, okay, so yes, these raw materials are used massively everywhere. There is trace amounts of some leathery notes to give a masculine feel. So the leathery notes I'm not sure if you detect, but this undoubtedly smells masculine and expensive. There is some lovely aniseed notes in this. I'm sure getting sort of aniseed notes, which is used massively in French perfumery. This undoubtedly has eucalyptus and lemon, which is always, in my experience, when I've sort of smelt quite a lot of French perfumery, they always sort of go back to them. And lemon, it gives a lemon drop feel, that sort of pear droppy feel, delicious and gorgeousness. On to my final thoughts. This is really, really clever classic perfumery, and it reminds me of the slightly of Serge Lutens. So I don't know if they trained the same way, or if there's some sort of relationship with they had the same teacher or something, but these smell similar. Serge I like very, very much. And so this, to me, smells like you would be in your 50s and you would understand your identity through perfumery. The boozy note is a really good assimilation of wood notes and the cinnamon notes, eugenol, and then you have some floral notes put in there to give that sort of lift through it. The acetates are fantastically put in there to give elevation and really dense, heavy. And I can tell you now that when you are dealing with sandalwood, which is one of the most hardest raw materials to give elevation through, my Santal Extreme took me a long time to get that sort of protection, but still get the denseness and undoubtedly a wood feel to it. And when you're dealing with a perfume that is very heavily based in naturals, and especially the dense, heavy benzoin woods, to get them to elevate is difficult, and he has done this exceptionally well. There is it's such a sweetness to it. The sweetness is one of the acetates, which is a slightly floral, sweet top note, and that is giving the elevation of a slight tobacco-y feel. So that is right on the top. You're getting that acetate. I shorten all these things, but it's a very nice acetate. I've got it. I love the positioning of the wood aroma chemicals to the naturals. I think it's so lovely, and people have commented before, do you think this contains, I think it was in Serge Luton, do you think this contains a lot of natural sandalwood? Well, the problem is, as I said, with sandalwood, is it's quite a difficult, dense, heavy raw material, and you need the sandalwood aroma chemicals to actually lift it slightly, support it, and you can manipulate sandalwood to be more creamy, more sweeter, more drier. You can, with these different things, that's how I work with them, to take a fantastic raw material and then change it to make it your own, and this is what he's done. I'd imagine he knew exactly what he was doing with this. Yes, he just knew this sort of person that he wanted to create, and I think it was inspired by something. Can't imagine that there was particularly marketing saying we want a boozy fragrance for this amount. It sort of feels created with love and respect. The demographic, I think, as I said, I think this is older. I couldn't imagine somebody in their 30s, between 20 and 30s, particularly liking this. I think this is absolutely 40 plus. It is a professional fragrance. It is a mature fragrance. You have to understand your identity through the art of perfumery. So you have to know that this sort of style of perfumery is particularly suited to you. The musk are chosen so well. I like this combination of musks. So you have a clean musk, you have musk to give a sophisticated feel, and you have a musk to give elevation and push and support the fragrance through to the acetates. And there's some lovely fixatives in it as well. There is oak moss in it, which is so classic in French perfumery. I personally don't like oak moss. I do use it. It is, on a personal thing, not something I reach towards, but I've noticed it in a lot of French perfumery. They use oak moss like raw materials. Oak moss is obviously prohibited for use. You can get rectified and all that sort of with the tars, but you can get things with EVENYL, I can never pronounce that. You can get those sort of raw materials and oak moss accords to create an oak mossy feel, and it's very nice with sort of the citruses. Yes, it's very nice. The iron owns in this as well is really good. So it's just so classically French to me and quite highbrow. So I'll go through your marks. Technically, really good. Obviously, it's fantastic. It's reminding me so much of the Serge Luton actually, but I don't know the performance. The two, I think they're quite similar. Price, yes, I think it's worth it because I think the amount of naturals in this, I think, is you're dealing with sandalwoods, benzoins, really expensive aroma chemicals. And so you get some aroma chemicals that are really cheap, but you get some aroma chemicals that are so expensive. And I asked a supplier once, why are these raw materials so expensive? And she said, if you look at it all comes down to organic chemistry. If you look at the structure of it, they can be so complex that the synthesis takes quite a while and is multi-stepped organic chemistry. So that is why they're expensive. And there is some expensive raw materials in this. So this is I would think it has some expensive raw materials, which is why the price is slightly higher. Do I like it? This is when it's quite difficult, because I think I do like it, but I wouldn't wear it. And the reason why I wouldn't wear it is because it's just not for me. I don't really like boozy fragrances, so that's probably why. But I do like it very much, but I personally wouldn't wear it. So I'm going to mark it at 8 out of 10. The two marks that come off, And this is what's quite interesting, is the Serge Lutens was slightly cheaper, but reminds me of this. So it's sort of, if Serge Lutens can do it for about 100 and something, then this is slightly higher. Do you see what I mean? And there's a lot of sort of similarities there. So it's sort of like, that's sort of in my brain how I'm sort of thinking of it. And I just personally wouldn't wear it because it's not dark enough, heavy enough for me, and it's lacking for me sort of some sweetness. But that is so personal, but I think it's a fantastic fragrance. For me, I don't know if it's going to last and last and last and last. That is the one thing. I don't think it'll last you 12 hours plus, but I think it's really fantastic going out and for dinner or socializing or wine bar fragrance, all that sort of stuff. I don't particularly associate it with bad boys, to be honest with you. I think it's a very nice fragrance. I think it's so suitable for autumn winter because the compounds are very heavy. Balsamic, vanillin, benzoin, sitting on musk and icy super with cinnamon notes. Yes, skin types. This is a difficult one because I think this is, for me, this is going to be a fragrance which is your signature scent and which you like very much. I don't think it should be a blind buy, to be honest with you. I think you must really get a sample and try it and see if you like it, because I think you're either going to think, it's the best thing ever, or you're going to think, meh. And I don't think you're going to float in between. It's not massively mass appealing to me, but I think the person who loves it really loves it. So I hope you love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content, dancing hands and excited unicornness. And I'll see you soon.